Hey there, Nantucket. It's Grant from the Nantucket Owner's Manual, a guide to leaving the island better than we found it. And today let's talk about the Coastal Resilience Advisory Committee draft report that launched last week and is being talked about in the media this week. The local newspaper ran a story about it yesterday, and they used a photo from the draft report that had very little to do with the report's actual recommendations. And that set off a bunch of negative comments on Facebook. This is one of our biggest problems on Nantucket. A bunch of quote-unquote citizens see a photo out of context from the report, and without reading the report, they make a bunch of misinformed comments that are read by a lot of other people. The upshot, a lot of people will believe that the town is wasting money studying this kind of thing, but that is not the case. Here's the deal. Climate change is a thing. The sea level is rising. The storms we are experiencing are more frequent, and the island has about $3.5 billion with a B dollars worth of public and private infrastructure at risk. And all it takes is some Monday morning quarterbacking by a bunch of people on their phones and keyboards to potentially do some real damage to this process. It's discouraging to see these comments on Facebook, and I'm sure it's discouraging for the people who are part of the Coastal Resilience Advisory Committee, because they have worked hard, very hard, to understand the problems and to understand what the solutions are. And they're working with consultants, with experts, engineers, architects, people who have created solutions like this in the past. They're doing the right thing. They are doing their due diligence. And it's disheartening to see the comments on Facebook that are so poorly informed. This is one of the reasons we created the Nantucket Owner's Manual in the first place, to help people be better informed. But there are always going to be people on Nantucket and across the country that are negative about things like this. And for my friends on the Coastal Resilience Advisory Committee, and for the people at Arcadis and Stoss and the other consultants that are part of this process, my message to you is keep going forward. When I was a creative director in a large ad agency in Connecticut, we had a project for a big bus rapid transit system. It was hundreds of millions of dollars to build this thing, and to buy the buses and create the roadway and to make it work. And it got a lot of negative press in local newspapers and on Facebook. A lot of naysayers came to the public comment meetings that were held, and it looked like this thing would never get off the ground. But it did. And it's great. It is called CT Fast Track, and it exceeded its ridership projections by a factor of 2 or 3, because we stuck with it and did a good job of telling people why it was a good thing before, during, and after the launch. So don't give up the ship, proponents of coastal resiliency. Don't be discouraged. These are the kinds of things that always happen in a community where people are poorly informed and opinionated and are given a microphone when they really don't deserve one. So I am spending my time this afternoon reading the draft report and providing some good comments for the team, for the consultants, and for the Coastal Resilience Advisory Committee. They deserve my time, our time, and our participation in this process. I am not going to give those opinions and comments to the folks on Facebook because, frankly, based on what I've read, they don't deserve those comments. And they also don't deserve the good people in our community who do this hard work. Anyway, it's an idea. We ought to talk more about it. This is Grant from the Nantucket Owner's Manual. And until next time, well, we'll see you in front of the Easy Street Boat Basin.